Ride free, Josephine, your life is not done. Years of neglect, but you'll see another sun. But as fate has a hand in all that we do, a new time, a new place, a new beginning for you.
Hate winter. Oh, me too.
Find a new place, a home to lay her head. Might take 1,000 pieces just to make her right, but we will persevere long through the night. Till on that day with pride, some blood and some tears, her lights will shine bright for many more years, Josephine.
I'm gonna go get that engine in here before I forget it. Okay.
Like what I'll do is I'm just gonna drive around the loop again.
Okay, sure. So we got this bike of Carrie's in here today. We just got it in there and it was storming outside. You might know it was clear before we started. When he drove in and the squall come through and it just blew like hell out there. Winter. She's an old 82 Decker. Not exactly my cup of tea sometimes, but each to their own, and each person rides whatever kind of Harley they like, and I don't begrudge anybody for their tastes. To me, it's another one that needs to be a survivor, and there's a story to it, and we'll explain it to you as we go along. But today we're getting it in, getting all the boxes of stuff in here, and got all the pieces that we need, hopefully, and we'll start on it just like any other project, and we'll see how it goes. She's an old 82, so she needs some love and care. So this is Kerry. We got his 82 in here. We'll tell you about the backstory on it after we get going. But he's come all the way from New Brunswick down here to get it done, and Jerry's done rotor work and stuff for you, which
Jerry did a lot of work for me.
Should be happy with that. Jerry does some phenomenal work and stuff, right?
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's like a kid in a candy shop.
How long have you had it home?
Oh, I've had this sitting in my shop for about a year now.
Oh, is that right?
It took me about half a year to get it home because it came from Virginia. It was an old friend of mine's. And, so we finally got it home in a U-Haul container up to the border, and then my son went down and got it for me. Brought it home the rest of the way.
Cool.
And then we took the motor and everything. The engine was originally already rebuilt in 1989, and he never even put it in the bike.
Yeah.
It was in this condition right here. And so we had to have it all redone.
Yeah.
By Jerry's.
Well, she'll need it going over for sure.
Yeah.
It'll be a little bit of a puzzle to get it all
I think you're up to it.
where it is. Oh yeah.
But I see
And I mean, it's just January, so we're not bad here.
Yeah.
Pretty well getting caught up on everything.
Yeah,
So.
I really appreciate your time. I'm telling you, like honestly, there's getting to be fewer and fewer guys like you around.
It is hard to find.
If I was a little younger, man, I'd move next door to you and I'd take on the trade.
Yeah.
It's just a little too far to come over and visit too often.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'd be awesome to get it done by the guy who knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to Shovelhead. I've never had a Shovelhead before. I've got friends that have them. I've got an Evo myself, so I'll keep her in tune and try to show the bike off, to just kind of share it with the younger crowd, and hopefully get some interest in other people going with the old bikes.
Well, there's lots of people interested in the old shovels. A lot of the younger crowd and stuff. You know, I know from my channel working and stuff. You know, you see the age groups and stuff, and majority are older, but I'm starting to appeal to a lot of younger ones now.
That's good. That's awesome.
You know, so that tells me, and women too. So it tells me that there's a lot of them that are working on themselves.
Well, I think when you look at the price of a new one, and you look at how much fun you can have on an old one.
That's right.
You know, it's a no-brainer.
And the old ones are tough as nails. You know, when they're set up right. You know what I mean? They're a different ride. When you ride that compared to what your bike is, it's totally different ride, a different feel. But you know, it's great to be able to save it.
The nice thing about having two is, not because I'm greedy, but I get a lot of company that comes from out of province.
Oh yes.
And they don't have a bike with them or whatever. Now we can show them out of province on a whole different way. On wheels. So we're looking forward to sharing. I don't think I'll let him ride this one. I'll let him ride the Road King.
Well, you know, I got a friend of mine's got one of these, and he's got a knuckle, and he's got must have 4 or 5 Harleys. And he calls his the Big Blue Whale. And he says, that is the best bike on the road of all of them, right? Is that sort of configuration with the 5-speed in it and stuff.
Yeah.
They were really a nice handling machine, right?
And it gives you a nice range too with the extra gear in it and the 4-speeds and stuff.
Yeah, so he said, he said, I hate to say it, but I love to drive the Blue Whale more than anything, but.
This here's Josephine.
Yeah.
So
well, we'll take care of her. We'll get her together. Like, I'm glad you got the wheels done and stuff. That saves me a lot of work.
And it's easier to roll when it's got wheels on it too.
Yeah, instead of bringing it all into pieces. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome, man. I'm gonna leave you 11 hands.
No problem. We'll be in touch for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'll be talking to you a little bit before I get at it. It'll take me a little while to start, figuring out what we got and stuff like that. And things will be all right.
At least things are moving.
Yeah.
It's great because they weren't moving before. Now they're moving.
Now they're moving. I got your exhaust system over there in the box and the ignition. Pick that up.
Is it the long fishtails or?
They slide up so you can place them where you want them on and stuff. I couldn't get anything proper for the mounts here. I see you don't have the bag things.
Oh, the bag rails are there. I did bring with me.
The bag rails, right?
What the heck did
I can't mount the exhaust without the
I'll show you
rails, right? Levy, I got some rails in here. Just leave it with me, but I don't think I have any FLT rails.
I did.
Because the exhaust hooks up to the rails, right?
Yeah,
so,
it does.
And I'll have to fabricate a mount on the back in order for it to meet up with the with the existing.
If you gotta have them, we'll just put them in a box.
Yeah. Well, no panic on it. When we get to that.
I brought everything back.
Well, it's hard to remember everything.
Yeah.
It is. Some
stuff
stuff you think, I'm not going to need that, and of course you need the bags and stuff. But then, like I say, come with the exhaust, you need it. But
I thought about all that. He said, no, he doesn't need the bags, man. They're going to the body shop. But good.
Yeah, we'll get her together. All right.
I'll chat with it, man.
All right.
Take care.
Enjoy your evening down here, and
we're heading for a Kentucky Fried Chicken and a couch.
Yeah.
I think not too much.
What is 5 or 6 hours come down?
Oh yeah, I might drive back, no problem at all. But we just thought we'd just make a day of it.
Especially like now, this year blowing through. Nice to just put your feet up. And
tomorrow we'll just get a good early start.
Take
our time going home and be home by lunchtime.
Cool.
Okay then.
All right. Drive safe out there.
Yeah.
Okay, Gary. So as you can see, he's excited about getting something done with it, and I'm glad, and that makes me excited. Like I say, the Deckers aren't really my thing, but restoring the old Harleys and bringing them back is. And his enthusiasm for what he has and the story behind it and all, again, makes me want to be a part of this build. So we'll get at it. We'll find out what different things got to be done. We'll put the motor together. We're running on the stand before we shove it in probably. I haven't quite decided which way I'll do it yet. But we'll see as it goes. All right. So today we're going to get at Gary's project here and start having a look at what we've got. I've kind of gone through boxes and tried to sort of inventory what we have and what we don't have. And Carrie sent me a lot of pictures on stuff, which was great, so I have an idea. But this project's going to require a lot of work and a lot to bring her back, but I'm up for the challenge. So we've got, all kinds of parts here. We've got brand new cylinders in the box. We've got pistons, we've got rings, we've got the heads. The rocker boxes have been powder coated black. All the rocker arms are here, various bolts and stuff. So today I think we're going to start with doing the cylinders and get them ready. Now, Jerry Murch, good friend of mine, Murch Motors, and if you don't know who he is, you should check him out, murchmotors.com. He's a tremendous engine builder and has been for many years, and he builds fantastic stuff. Jerry had taken on this project and was going to do it for Carrie, but as our life goes and different things change and his time factor such, he called me up and asked me if I would complete this project for him, and I said sure, I'll do that for you. So Jerry has done the bottom end and he's done the heads, so which takes that kind of stress off me from doing them. So we're going to move ahead today. I got to do the cylinders, so we're going to start measuring those out, getting them ready, getting the pistons ready, making sure everything's right, and we can start assembling the motor. I think it's going to be my first task as we move along. So stick with us. Let's get at it. So today we're going to get our cylinders, check our cylinders to see where they're at, and get our pistons to fit. Now, sometimes people ask, there's some discrepancy as to how far, what the clearance should be between the piston and the cylinder. Now, if you look in some of the old the old manuals, they'll tell you 2 to 2.5 thou, which is, you know, quite a bit on that, and it's not really necessary with the pistons and such that we have today. When I was taught at school by Kurt, he would say between 1 and 2 would suggest for any of the shovel heads. So that's what I'm going to stick with, but I'm going to shoot for, I usually shoot for about 1.5, puts me in the safe range, 1.5 to 2 in there. But not over 2 as the manual states. So each to their own. I've done it this way for years, and 1.5 is usually what I shoot for, and seems to work very well. So the first thing that we got to do is take our piston, and we got to measure our piston to see where we're at to start with. And to measure the pistons, we go 90 degrees to the piston pin, and as far up it as you can get. There we go. And that says it's giving me 3.496. Now, this is why we always measure pistons before we do the bore. I've seen other people complain in the past about sending their cylinders out somewhere and telling them to bore at a certain size, and they bore at a certain size. Then they get their pistons, and the pistons are sloppy in it. I never bore a cylinder or get it out to size until I check the size of the piston. These are supposed to be standard pistons at 3.5 thou, you know, or 3.5 inch, 3.5 inch piston is what you always say. But now that I've measured these pistons, they're actually 4/1000ths of an inch underneath that. So if I'd sized the cylinder to 3.5, I've had 4 thou piston clearance on it, which would be way too much. So I can't stress how important it is to measure the piston and fit the cylinder to the existing piston that you have, because they all tend to vary quite a bit. So we have that measurement. So what I'm going to do is take my dial indicator here that I have for doing down inside the cylinders, and I'm going to set it up with my caliper, with my micrometer, to the size that I'm looking for. So I'm 3.496. I want 9.7. So I'm going to go to 9.7. That's 1 thou bigger. So I can take it at that point and see where I am. And I know that I've got 0.5 thousandths to 1 thou to play with from there. What we'll do is set our micrometer here by putting it here. Set my dial to 0. Carefully. We want to make sure that we're right on the money with this measurement. And we'll snug it up there. Just take it off and check it again. Make sure that I'm coming up to my 0 point, and I'm right on 0. So I have this set for 0 here, and that will tell me that I'm 1 thou over. So now what I'm going to do is check the cylinder to see just where it's at. And we're about 0.5 thou at the top, and 1.5 thou at the bottom. So it's out over 1/1000ths of an inch all the way down. Yeah, 1.5 thou. 1/2 thou. And it's not round, but it's a fine line. So we're just going to have to take a cut through it and try to straighten it up a little bit, realizing that the tight spot is at the bottom, but it's not round either. So we'll put our hone in and make a couple light passes and have a look at what we do. Now we're only going for like 1/1000th of an inch there, and once I get that, then I'll put my ball hone through it and put a pattern in it. We'll see what we can do. It's aftermarket stuff. It's the way it is. We'll see how it goes. So we'll get her out to size here a bit. And I've just got like a light 200 grit in here, so try to get the roundness out of it, or try to get it round. So we'll just some cleaner in there to clean it out. You have to make sure when you're doing this that you don't let the cylinders get too hot. Yeah, we're not hot there at all. Not quite 1.5 hours there. And it's pretty easy to tell once you've got your bore down. Piston will slide right through there easily. With no drag. We're going to put the ball hone in it, and that will take a little bit more off the surface as we put the pattern in it, but I always check it before I do the ball hone, because the ball hone will actually make things sort of stand up a little bit in there, and can be deceiving on the sizes, but I'd say that we're just where we want to be there, so I'll have to get my ball hone out. So we've got it pretty well where we want it now, and we're going to bring the ball hone through it. That'll take another half of that. So I think that'll do it for that one. And now I got to go ahead and do the other one, and then wash them all out with hot soapy water, clean them all out, and then we'll get ready to put them on the motor. That'll be the next step when this is done. So with that done, all sized up, next thing we need to do is check our end gap on our rings. Be our last thing to check in the cylinders before we assemble them, to make sure that we got at least 10 to 15 thou end gap on the rings. And once we know that's okay, we'll start putting them together. So now we're going to check our end gap on our rings just to make sure. And I've got the top ring here. I'm just going to fit it down in there, nice and easy. You can take your piston and just push it down a little ways from the top. Make sure it's squared up. There we go. And I'm looking for 10 to 15. Just get a 15 in there. Yeah, 14 goes in easy. 15 is just a little bit snug, and that's what we want. The top ring for there, and we'll check it in our rear cylinder as well. Slides in there very easy. And the 15 is just a little bit snug. So they look great. They're the way they're supposed to be. And if you're curious, we can always try the second ring as well. So that's 15, just goes in, just. 14 goes in easily. So that's great for that one. And we'll check this one as well. Let's try the 14 in there. Oh yeah. No problem. So those cylinders are just where they're supposed to be. So I'm very happy with that. Means the size is right, the end gap is right, means that the bore is right for them, so we're good to go. And I won't be getting at it today, but looks like tomorrow we'll be putting those on, maybe popping the heads on. I got to check around and see what other parts I have for it, like an intake. I was wondering about that. I haven't seen it, but I'll dig out the S&S carb, see if I've got an intake. But the cylinders are ready to go. They're oiled up. Put a little bit more oil on there because I just kind of wiped it off with the rings. See, there's a little tiny small spot down in there that I didn't rub. It will show up pretty quickly. All right, another step done, another thing done. Moving on, moving on. She's coming, Josephine, she's coming. So tomorrow will be the day to do some assembly on it. That's always kind of fun. I'm looking forward to that. Jerry's done the heads on it, so I mean I got to put the rocker boxes together and things like that, but lots to do. Lots to do. So we just got done washing them all out with hot soapy water and then blowing out through the oil holes, your drain back holes. Make sure you blow hot air or blow air and soapy water down through these holes and plug the inside one. Blow right through there. Clean them all out. And then when you've got them all done and washed a couple times, you run a clean rag through them and make sure there's no grit in them when you dry them out. And then immediately oil them, because if you set them aside after washing them and you come back in the morning, they'll be all rust and you won't be very happy with it. They'll rust up really quick, so it's very important to oil them thoroughly and make sure you got all the spots in there. And these cylinders are good to go. So now we're going to start putting the cylinders and stuff on and start assembling the motor and getting things done. I'm going to shoot a bunch of oil down in around the rods here. Can't have too much in there. Give them a fighting chance. And we're going to do the front one first, so don't have any of my other plates. I'll have to use one of the old ones I have here. And I always like to lay something down in there just in case you go to put a pin in or a clip in and it pops out or something and you don't need it going down inside. And we put one in one side of the piston. We already have it in this side. We've put it in this side here, made sure that it's seated in, and I always put it in that side so that I can, when I go to put the other one in, I can put it in here. We will just take our pin and put a little assembly lube on it. Put it in there. Started in our piston. It's not wanting to slide in there. What we're going to do now is get our pistons put on here, and that's the plan. Now, I tried the pin in my piston and it was a little bit tight, so we can tap it in, and I probably will tap it in a little bit. But what I've done is put my pistons on the stove, and I'm going to let them warm up there a little bit. They're getting warm there now, so I can see if I can start my pin in it. And I may have to tap it through. Now you could, if you don't have a stove or something, you can run them under hot water, and you know, that'll expand it a little bit and help you get the piston in. I've put the clip in one side already, and I know that I'm going to put my standard numbers on this side. So let's see if we've got her warmed up enough there. There we go. And there we go. Over there far enough. Give her a little tap so it sets on the other rings there. The other locking ring. And making sure that I can see my groove for my clip nice and plainly there. We've got a Jim's tool here for these. Got spiral locks in them, so they're just into the end of this. And we're going to shove this tool through, put it through the rod, shove it through, and that should set it into the groove where we want it. There we go. And that looks good. Okay. Here a little bit. Just want to check. Make sure the spiral lock is seated in there in the groove, and it is. All right. Hey Slick, using your little gloves you sent me. All right. So, baby, now we'll get some rings on it. Is our next step. Yeah, we'll start with our expander ring first. Then we're going to stagger our rings. We don't want any of the rings on the thrust surfaces.
In a dusty garage where the shadows lie, a rust-kissed frame waits beneath the side.
Just work them around there lightly.
Still a story, a whispering chrome. The old girl's heart is yearning.
Yeah, she's going to be a prick today. There we go. So I can see it there. I know my expander ring opening is here. I'm going to move this around 90 degrees to it.
Piece by piece, polish the past till the thunder's released. No scar left hidden, no gear untouched. She'll roar again, her spirit unclutched.
Stagger that one around a little bit, like that. So when we go to put our second ring in here, there's usually a dot on the top, and the ring is chamfered on the bottom, and the chamfer wants to go down, but you have to make sure and look, and on this end it's just very lightly etched on there where it says top ring. So the top ring goes up.
Wrenches turn like verses, oil glides like rhyme.
Don't expand them any more than you have to,
In perfect time,
just enough to get them in there. And the top one, and the top one goes either way, it doesn't matter. There's no markings on that at all.
we'll bring her back, piece by piece.
And we want to stagger those around. Get the second ring over here. And just making sure that your openings aren't on the thrust surfaces here. Get them staggered around a bit. All right. This is one of my earlier plates. It's a little bit harder to use than the plates that I usually use, but I'm out of them. Wow, we got light happening everywhere, don't we? It seems like we're in the wrong spot. Let's try moving over here a little bit, see if we can get out of some of that light.
Now rebuilt all new, sunrise and away. Wind in the spokes, freedom she'll take. A legend reborn on two-wheel wings.
Be very careful and don't beat your pistons up against the threaded pieces. It's important to put a good coating of oil on your piston all around. And we'll oil up our clamp. There's the top and the bottom. I want to put the bottom down there. Oil down in there. Front cylinder on. Go. And get the plate and the compressor, the ring compressor out. Another plate. I don't like this one. I'm gonna have to make up some more of mine. Slowly feed that down in there very carefully. There we are. Now we may need a bolt for here to get one of my bolts out and see, because lots of times there's interference here with this, because you won't be able to get it in after. Oh, looks like these ones are close enough that we're going to be able to get it in, because they're 12 points. With regular ones, you've got to put them in there and first, but we're okay here with that. I'll just slide this on in place. All of the 80-inch ones have a little triangle tab like that, and it's marked up, so that side goes up. We're just going to put one on there to hold it. Just going to snug it up so that it doesn't interfere with the other one. While we're trying to move the thing around to get this side up so that we can work with it, this will keep the cylinder in place. I should be able to pull that up. There we go. And our other piston should be ready to go. I just gotta put the clip in. Now we're hoping, because we put the piston on the stove, that the pin's gonna slide right through. Pin started, there we go. We've got to heat it up good so the pin will slide straight through it. In there. So by just heating that piston up a little bit, you know, like I say, you can run it under hot water. We'll do the same thing, expand it if you find that pin is tight in there, and when it cools down it'll snug up a bit, but that makes it a lot easier to get in for sure. So I'm gonna get the bottom gasket, put that down in place.
We'll bring her back. Now we built all new, sun rising away, wind in the spokes, freedom should take. A legend reborn on two-wheel wings. Ride on, dear Harley, let the road sing.
So now I'm just going to go around, put my nuts all around. I'll snug them down, put some Loctite on them, and then we'll have a look at getting the heads on. So if you enjoyed this video today, like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, do those kind of things. It helps our channel to grow. Be sure and check out my brothers down south, Hippie's Chopper Corner, Slickheads Custom Cycles. Hey, see, look at my new banners Slick sent me. See, I got it up slick. I didn't have a lot of room, but I do have it up. There's always many more things to do, and this is going to be a big project, a little more than what I planned on, but being able to save another one is what it's all about. So we'll start with what we got, work away at it, see where we get. So that's it for today. See you next week.